Hi, Alex here from Rebeloper.com, and in this video I will teach you how you can create a UI view with rating stars in them. So without further ado, let's get to work. Let me show you what we are going to build out with a hands-on example. I have been working on this See It Body app for a while now, and what it basically does is download images and displays them on a slideshow, but it's much more than that, of course. Go ahead. If you're watching this in the future, then find it on the App Store. So what we're going to build out is something like this. As you can see, there is a rating, let's say UI view that has stars in it, and you can rate on it. Of course, out here you cannot rate, so the rating is disabled. If I just click inside the view, then I can rate it. So let's rate it. Again, let's see. As you can see, I can rate it 1 star, 2, and so on, 4 stars. Okay, and of course, this is handled. This is handled by the Firebase, and it is fetched back here. So now, as you can see, it has been updated to 4 stars. Now, this is a real live apps example. What we are going to build out today is a little bit different, and let me just start off this example, Cosmos testing, and don't peek. Here we have our example code. Let's see, is it running? Yes, it is building. So I'm going to show you what we are going to build out today. It's a simple example that you can add into your own project. So here we are, here we have 10 stars, a rate me button, and of course you can rate to whatever you would like. And as you can see, if you just look real close, we can even have these half stars. Not the same as the other example, but I will teach you this too. So let's start off with a brand new project. Okay, let's go back to xcode here. Let's minimize this, and under file, new, let's create a new project. Okay, let me just resize this so it may fit real nicely, and it will be a single view application. Let's click on next, and I will name this Cosmos rating tutorial, because we are going to use the Cosmos GitHub repository for this tutorial. So now let's click on next, and I will create a GitHub repository that you can check that later on, and you can download it. Go ahead, everything is down in the description. Just click the link below. So I just drop this onto the desktop. Let's create it. There we go. Now, first thing first, let's delete our main storyboard here. Let's move to trash, and let's delete the main interface here. Pretty simple stuff if you are accustomed to my tutorials. Next up, we add our window here, window equals UI window, and let me just make this a little more bigger. So YouTube dark, great. So it is a UI window, and now let's make this window key and visible. So make key and visible. Let's instantiate our view controller, and we will use the basic view controller that xcode has created. We will work inside them, and let's add our view controller to the Windows root view controller. So that's like that. Great. We have done this 1,000 times. You know how it works. So next up, let's add our views views, background color, let's set it to white, because as default it is set to black. Okay, now that's it for our basic setup. Now, we want to add our Cosmos GitHub repository, and we want to add a label, but I want to constrain it to the center, so we will use tiny constraints. Now, these two are added to this project as a pod, so let's close this off and let's go and create our CocoaPods. So here we have our Cosmos rating tutorial, great. And let's open up terminal. Let me make this real big. Let's add some huge fonts here and resize this. Great. Now, let's cd into our project. So that basically what it does, it goes to that project's root window folder. And let's type in pod init as usual to create a pod file. Next up, I will just drag and drop our pod file into the icon of xcode and edit this file. So I will first of all let the platform be of iOS 9, and next up I will add two pods. So pod number 1 is Cosmos, and pod number 2 is tiny constraints. Now we should close this, it is automatically saved, and now to install the pods we will simply type in pod install. Great, now let's wait for it. It is installing Cosmos, it is installing tiny constraints, good for us. Now let's wait for it, and let us just open our Finder, and you will see that a new xcode workspace will be created, and indeed it has been created here. So here it is, and from now on we need to open this up because we are using CocoaPods. Okay, let us just resize this window again, and now let's see what we have got here. First of all, let's build our project, because as of today the tiny constraints has a little update issue. It hasn't been updated to iOS to Swift 4.2 yet, but it has only just one tiny little error here. So UI layout constraint axis will be UNS layout constraint axis. So let's fix that. Let's unlock the file. So most probably you will not get this error. And in the meantime, let's update our project to the recommended settings. Great. As you can see here, we have our Cosmos and tiny constraints inside our pods project. So let's go back to our view controller and import these two. So import Cosmos, there we have it. And let's import tiny, and let us just delete this and hit Command B again, so xcode may realize that tiny constraints is indeed there. So import, and here we have it, tiny constraints. Great. Now next up I want to create a simple Cosmos view. So lazy var, and I will just for now create a simple basic Cosmos view. So next up, what we want to do is add this Cosmos view to our view controller's view. So pretty great stuff. And now comes the real fun part, anchoring and constraining this view to the center. And it is pretty simple with tiny constraints. So center in super view. Wasn't that easy? So let's build and run with Command R and see how this looks. Great, here we go. We have 5 stars, 3 of them are full, 2 of them are empty. Let me just drag this here. Now let's just tap here, and as you can see, you can already fill out the stars as much as you like. Now, how can you let's say disable, because sometimes you just only want to show how many stars, let's say, a song has. So to do that, let's go back into our Cosmos view and type in view, and it has something called like settings. And here we have, I believe it is update on touch. Yes, update on touch. And if we set this to false, because it is set to true by default, you will not be able to let's say set the rating. It is just for displaying purposes. So let me just try. No way. Okay, now let's uncomment this, because that's just something that marginally used. What we want to do next is customize this rating view or Cosmos view. Let's call it a Cosmos view, or it's a rating view, but that's the repository's name. So let's go into view, and here we will have I believe it is settings and empty image and filled image. So we want to add, let's say, a filled image first, and that will be of type UI image, and I will call upon this named and let us just add our images. Now you can download these resources from the links below, okay? And I will just drag and drop it. Here it is. It is simple: rating star filled and rating star empty. There you go. So I will just copy the name of this image and go back to our view controller and simply paste it in there. And it will be with a rendering mode dot always original. And that basically, it says that the framework should now UI image should be presented as original, and it should be presented always as original. There's another one, always template, that you can apply some colors to it. So another one is view settings and empty image. Okay, this will be a UI image again, and it will be named, you guessed it, it will be named rating star empty. And of course, again, this will be with rendering mode dot always original. Okay, let's build and run our project now and see how the customization has changed. Okay, here we go. Great, we have our filled stars and we have our empty stars. And of course, because we have commented out that update on touch, we can now update our rating. Great. Now, what is up next? Well, you could add, let's say we want to have 10 stars. Now, let's go into view and settings and type in stars, total stars. Yeah, that's it. And now let's add this to 10. Okay, that would be 10. I will not make this run again. So let's take a look at some other settings, and you can see here our star size. Now we can make it as large as we want. I will make this 17. So this is the height of the star. Next up, I want to set under settings the star margin. Okay, and that is the distance between each stars. 3.3 is okay by me. So let's build and run and see how our rating view comes along. Okay, we have 3 stars, 10 stars, and 3 of them are full. Okay, next up we want to set our fill mode. Now the fill mode can be setting the stars fully or by percentage. So let's go here and type in view settings, fill mode, and that would be of type, and let's wait for it. I believe it is full. Great. Okay, now next up, and this will conclude our tutorial, we want to add some text. Okay, so now next up I want to add a text color. Oh, I need to type in settings and text, or you could add a text font. I will not change this this time. I will add a text color, and that would be a red color. Okay, and I will set the views settings text margin to be, let's say, 10, because it is 5 by default. Now this is the distance between the stars and the text. Okay, and let's build and run one final time and see what we have got. Okay, here we have our star sizes and the margins between the sizes and the rate me text. Okay, now you can rate it. Great. Now, one thing that you should know is to fetch what we have actually rated, and that is fairly simple. Inside the view did load, just type in simple Cosmos view did touch Cosmos, and here we have a rating, and here we go, and let's just print out rated and the rating. Great. Now let's build and run again and see this in our log. So first of all, let me just back this up and see how we rate it. Okay, here we have rated 7, 6, 9, and so on. Okay, now if we want to have not full mode, let me just jump to our definition. You can see we have full, half, and precise. So I want precise. Okay, and let's paste that in there, and let's see again. Okay, here we go. It is precise. Okay, great stuff. And that is how you can create a rating UI view in your apps. Okay, now it's your turn. Do you have, or are you planning to have, any apps that implement a rating system like this? Like you give 5 stars or 10 stars to whatever you'd like. If you do, go ahead and comment down below in the comment section. And if you like this video, give it a thumbs up. And of course, subscribe to see more and hit that notification bell to be notified first when I upload new videos. I regularly upload, so you can learn more about these awesome iOS GitHub repositories. And as always, I will see you in the next one.